Now, it was only a matter of time. The media's golden boy, so-called voice of hope, is finally getting called out by the very people he was supposed to uplift. Not by conservatives or Republicans, but by black Americans who've had enough of the lies, the deflection, and the betrayal. This ain't just criticism. It's a cultural revolt. And for once, Obama can't hide behind his skin color because now the truth is out.
Well, President Obama, former President Obama is at it again. This time he's out there stomping for young black men to have gay mentors in their lives. Wow. That's interesting. Obama had the largest platform in the nation and quite possibly the world for 8 years. It would have been nice to see a good portion of that time trying to ensure that, maybe that more black children have fathers in their homes. Combating that fatherlessness issue, which is the worst problem of black America, could have and should have been a hallmark of Obama's presidency. I mean, why would the first black president not take that issue on? Why would he not take it on head on? How about creating a task force? How about a national presidential mentorship program aimed directly at it with all the fanfare and promotion? How about making that good cause for a real problem more popular and successful than Black Lives Matter, which is a bad cause for a fake problem? I don't know. Maybe he was just too busy, cozying up the nations that hate us and giving them billions of dollars, I guess maybe. Or maybe he was just too busy trying to figure out how to perfectly light up the White House with blasphemous colors. I know what some people are going to say. They're going to say, well, he gave some speeches. He gave some speeches and he promoted a couple of organizations. Yeah, sure he did. But as president, he could have made significant strides and real change. He didn't. That's par for the course. Obama has become filthy rich, and he has moved on up way past a deluxe apartment in the sky. Is that what his hope was as he was pushing for change and running on both? It must have been because the vast majority of his base got neither from his presidency. And now they're getting some real bad advice.
Come on now. Look, this right here, this is not just a political statement. That's a cultural wound being exposed. Obama had the chance, the perfect moment in history to champion fatherhood, to rebuild the backbone of the black family. But instead, he let the White House, he lit it up with rainbow colors and told us mentorship meant something totally different. Why didn't he build a national fatherhood initiative? Why no presidential task force on restoring homes? Instead, you get speeches and symbolism. You want to talk about legacy? That's the legacy, performative gestures and community silence. And just when you thought that was the boldest take, another black voice shows up and connects the real dots.
Call me crazy, but just hear me out. I really do believe that they chose Barack Obama. Yes, they selected him all the way back in 2008 to become the face of the Democrat Party, because their plan all along was always to try to gradually push America into a race war in the near future. They wanted to try to get individuals to look at things as, oh, you are black, you are white, you are good, you are bad, and making it such that when you criticize a black person, it is viewed as some sort of racist attack. And that was intentional because they wanted to use Barack Obama as the individual to engage in all sorts of treasonous activity, going so far as to even spy on Trump and do so much to try to undermine his presidency before he even was elected the first time around. But they wanted to have the narrative baked in so that individuals out there already viewed things as a binary lens of, oh, black or white, good or bad, so that when inevitably Barack Obama's crimes did come out, any sort of attack on his behaviors, no matter how valid those attacks may be, would be viewed as some sort of racist attacks, and they'd be able to hide behind his skin color and deflect away from what the core of the issue really is. Call me crazy all you want, but that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. That's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Obama wasn't selected to unite America. He was picked to fracture it. He was weaponized to shield the left's agenda behind race. That's something I can get behind. I mean, in terms of it makes sense. The dots are lining up in that way. They knew if anyone pushed back, they can scream racist and shut it all down. And look what happened during Obama's presidency. Race relations hit the lowest point in decades. He didn't heal a nation. He polarized it by design. And while the race card was being weaponized behind the scenes, Obama's team was doing far more dangerous, y'all.
Who should be scared tonight?
All of the people you've identified. Comey, Clapper, and Brennan, the sort of three stooges of Obama's national security team. Obama himself. Biden was in on some of the meeting. I mean, this is what these malign actors did, Sean. Any reliable intelligence that exonerated Trump was classified and buried until now, while phony intel was conjured up and peddled as credible just to frame Donald Trump. And Obama, he was central in all of this. He was told at the outset that Hillary invented the false collusion narrative to smear her opponent. The intelligence community totally rejected it as bogus, finding that Russia did not meddle to help Trump. Obama could have stepped forward, done the right thing, told the American people the truth. But he didn't do that. He ordered this new intel assessment that said the exact opposite of the truth. Why? To propagate the hoax. And Brennan and others did his dirty work, Sean, and those who objected, and a lot of the intel agencies did object, they were sidelined and silenced. So as I wrote in a column this week, never before has an American president connived to sabotage and destroy his successor as Barack Obama did, Sean.
Yeah. Do you get it now? They buried exonerating intel. They classified the truth and peddled a lie to destroy a political enemy. Obama wasn't just aware of this hoax. He helped order the narrative shift. That's what y'all call leadership. I'll call that sabotage. Ask yourself, what kind of man tries to rig the future before it even happens? The answer is in the next clip. Because even Obama's allies are getting nervous. When Al Sharpton's voice starts to tremble, you know the House of Cards is shaking.
It benefits them tremendously in the midterm election.
And I got to ask you, too, before we go to break, about what's happening to former President Obama right now. You know, we saw Trump release that AI video of him getting arrested to the tune of the YMCA song. And now we have DNI Tulsi Gabbard sort of pushing these baseless claims about the former president, claiming that the Russia probe was designed by him to undermine Trump's incoming presidency at the time. How seriously do you take this? I mean, a lot of people are talking about it as a distraction right now. But do you think there's a real hunger, a real plan here to try to go after Obama?
I think it's a real problem for the country to have a sitting president to say that you are to arrest or prosecute a president. His predecessor has never happened in American history. And to get people all geared up, all you need is some nut to feel I should make a citizen's arrest. This can go anywhere. So I don't think we ought to deal with it as a distraction, but we need to deal with the gravity of what they're doing. You're talking about the president of the United States, no matter how we feel about him, attacking a former president, saying he stood in this Oval Office and broke the law and he should be brought to justice.
Yeah, they're using words like treasonous conspiracy.
And what is, when I was going to school, treason, what are you supposed to face with treason? So I think it is very dangerous for the country, very dangerous for President Obama and his family. And I think it's something that, when Donald Trump was shot, all of us rushed out and said, this is wrong, we condemn it.
Yeah,
you
right.
can't put people in a position where you can incite somebody who's not all that well to think they're doing the country a favor if they're dealing with treason. And that's my fear, that we now are way across the line of what we should do for Trump or Obama. We shouldn't do that to any president.
Reverend Sharpton, always good to see you. Thank you for being
Great
here
to
with
be
me
with
tonight.
you.
And be sure to
Man, dangerous for the country, he says. Sharpton. What's really dangerous is the fact that Obama's actions are finally getting exposed. That's the danger here. For years, the left weaponized justice, manipulated narratives, and called it democracy. Dangerous? Now that it's swinging back the other way, they want to talk about incitement? Look, maybe if Obama didn't orchestrate an intelligence operation against a sitting president, we wouldn't be here. But guess what? The receipts are in. And no clip proves that more than what Devin Nunes dropped. The deep state games, they were real. And Obama approved.
Good morning, or good afternoon, everyone. I recently confirmed that on numerous occasions, the intelligence community incidentally collected information about U.S. citizens involved in the Trump transition. Details about U.S. persons associated with the incoming administration, details with little or no apparent foreign intelligence value, were widely disseminated in intelligence community reporting. Third, I have confirmed that additional names of Trump transition team members were unmasked. And fourth and finally, I want to be clear, none of this surveillance was related to Russia or the investigation of Russian activities or of the Trump team. The House Intelligence Committee will thoroughly investigate surveillance and its subsequent dissemination to determine a few things here that I want to read off. Who was aware of it, why it was not disclosed to Congress, who requested and authorized the additional unmasking, whether anyone directed the intelligence community to focus on Trump associates, and whether any laws, regulations, or procedures were violated. I've asked the directors of FBI, NSA, and CIA to expeditiously comply with my March 15th letter that you all received a couple weeks ago, and to provide a full account of these surveillance activities. I informed Speaker Ryan this morning of this new information, and I will be going to the White House this afternoon to share what I know with the President and his team. Before I get to questions, I want to say that, as you know, there's just been what appears to be a terrorist attack in the United Kingdom. Obviously very concerned, and our thoughts and prayers go out to our strong friends and allies over across the pond. I have seen intelligence reports that clearly show that the president-elect and his team were, I guess, at least monitored and disseminated out in intelligence in what appears to be raw, or I shouldn't say raw, but intelligence reporting channels.
It's all there, y'all. Surveillance, unmasking, dissemination of raw intel. And they had the audacity to say it wasn't political. Devin Nunes was called a conspiracy theorist. Now he's vindicated because the entire intelligence community was used like a puppet show, and all to make Trump never get a clean shot. But here we are. You can clearly see that that failed, backfired horribly at that for them. Obama can't hide behind the media anymore, man. I don't think he can gaslight his way out of this one. I don't know. The very people who claim to speak for, or he claimed to speak for, rather, are the same ones turning on him. They're not asleep anymore. We're not asleep anymore. We ain't woke. We awake. We're also not afraid to question his so-called hope that he never delivered. Now, if you tired of the lies and the manipulation and all the fake legacies, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Also, check me out up here. Be safe. Go check on somebody today. You could be saving their life. Peace.